The last couple of Sabbaths, we were telling stories, we were seeing skits about a certain prophet in the Old Testament. Does anybody remember what that prophet's name was? Starts with the letter E. Elijah. Very good. Now, it's so easy to get Elijah and another prophet confused because there's another one, Elisha. Did you know they knew each other? Yeah, Elijah actually picked Elisha to be his helper and to be the next prophet after Elijah wouldn't be around anymore. So, our stories from the last couple of weeks, we saw Elijah. He was dealing with the prophets of Baal of Mount Carmel. And before that, he had been staying with the widow of Shunem. The widow of Zarephath. So before that, he had been staying with the widow of Zarephath. And did she live in Israel? You guys remember? She didn't. She lived outside of Israel. She was not an Israelite, and yet she believed God when God said that he could take care of her and that he could give her enough oil and flour to make more bread, even if she used up all of her oil and flour making bread for Elijah. And did God take care of her? He did, even though she wasn't an Israelite. And that was an important lesson that God was trying to teach people. Hey, anybody can be a friend of God. It doesn't matter if you're born in a certain country or you speak a certain language. Anybody can be God's friend. Just believe him. Well, Elijah now had left. Does anybody remember, by the way, how Elijah left? Did he die? No, Elijah was one of the few people who never died. He went straight to heaven. A chariot, the Bible says a chariot that looked like it was on fire, being pulled by horses that looked like they were on fire, came down and picked him up and took him to heaven. And just before he left, Elisha had said, Elijah, when you leave, I really would like to have twice as much connection with Jesus, twice as much power from God as you do. I really want to be able to do things for God's people and tell people about God and work miracles. And Elijah had told him he'd be able to have that. And sure enough, Elisha did. Our story today, we're going to hear a story about something that Elisha was involved in. But we won't be having Elisha himself talk to us today. We're going to hear from somebody who was able to receive a miracle because of Elisha. So if you guys will just give me a moment, I got to get changed real quick, okay?
All right, everybody, listen up. I'm here to tell you a story. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be talking so mean. It's hard not to talk like that because, well, you see, I'm a soldier. I'm actually a commander of soldiers, and I've been so used to just talking kind of rough to people. But, I've learned I need to just calm down. I need to not be so rough. In fact, I need to be more patient and treat people nicely. Elisha taught me that. He taught me a lot of things. I'll tell you the story of what happened. You see, I've been a commander of an army for a long time. Many, many years. The commander of the army of Syria, in fact. I'm the best soldier. I'm the bravest soldier. I'm the strongest soldier. I'm also really good at what I do. I've defeated all sorts of enemies for Syria. Do you know, I even defeated the armies of Israel. That's right. Because I'm tough. Well, okay, no, I'm not actually tough. I've learned now, guys, that it's not because I was tough. And it wasn't because the idols, the false gods of Syria were strong either. That's what I used to think. But I learned, no, that's not true either. Oh, I keep forgetting. I'm getting ahead of the story. I'll explain what I mean in just a moment. Anyhow, I work for the king of Syria. I'm his number one soldier. And one time while I was out fighting, and I was leading some men into Israel, we were doing some war stuff. And, well, we came on this one town, and I was able to capture some slaves, including this little girl. She was probably only about, how old are you? She was about 4 years old, yeah. She was a little girl. And, she was sad that I took her away from her parents. But back then, I didn't really care, because it didn't matter how other people felt, as long as I got what I wanted. I wanted a little girl to be a servant for my wife. I took her back all the way to my country, and I said to my wife, Wife, I got this little girl, and she'll be your servant. And so she helped my wife out with, I don't know, whatever the women do in the house. She helped her with cleaning and stuff. And I kept on fighting battles and being strong and powerful until one day I got a rash. Have any of you ever had a rash? A little itchy spot, maybe a little blister, a little pimple, maybe chicken pox. Only this was different. This kind of rash, well, it was a really bad rash because it was a rash of something called leprosy. You guys ever heard of leprosy? Leprosy, well, it's no good. If you get leprosy, you get spots on your body that are kind of whitish in color, and that they don't really hurt. Actually, that's part of the problem. You can't feel it all. Wherever the rash goes, well, your nerves stop working, and so then you can't feel if you hurt yourself or if you cut yourself, or like if you get your foot all covered in leprosy, you can drop a rock on your foot and you won't feel it. And that's not good, because then you start getting cuts, and then you get infections, and then your body parts start falling off. Oh, it's no good at all. No good. And on top of that, when you get leprosy, people are scared of you because they get leprosy from you. So then nobody wants to be around you. So even though I was the toughest and the strongest and the bravest, suddenly people were like, oh no, stay away from Naaman. Oh, that's my name. I didn't tell you my name yet, did I? My name is Naaman. Anyways, they said, stay away from Naaman. He's got leprosy. Nobody wanted to be around me. Nobody cared if I was strong, if I was special, if I was good at what I could do. They just ignored me all the time now, and I would just sit at home feeling sad, feeling worthless. What are you going to do? There's no cure for leprosy. We don't have any medicine you can put on for your body to take care of leprosy. But you know, that little girl, your age, that little girl, Cindy, well, she was working with my wife, and I guess she noticed that I was kind of sad, probably because I was always sitting over on a rock over here going, oh, I'm so sad. So anyways, she said to my wife, she said, you know, it's too bad that we're not back in Israel, because there's a prophet in Israel, and he could cure the master's leprosy. And well, you know, when my wife heard that, she got pretty excited. She came and she told me, she said, oh, the little girl from Israel says that there's a prophet back there who could cure leprosy. I was like, yeah, I don't know. How is that possible? Well, my wife wouldn't give up. So she even talked to the king. She said, hey, king, you need to tell Naaman he's your number one soldier. And if you want him to get better and help you win battles again, you should tell him to go and see the prophet who cures leprosy. And you know what the king said? Send me Naaman at once. So of course I went. And the king asked me to come. And the king said, what's wrong with you? You need to go and get yourself healed. Don't just sit around and feel sad for yourself. Go wherever you need to go. I'll write a letter. I'll give you some money to take with you. You know, the king even gave me some money to take so I could go and maybe try to convince the prophet of Israel to heal me. We didn't figure the prophet would want to heal me. Maybe because I'd been, you know, killing Israelites and stealing their children and stuff. But anyhow, we thought, okay, well, maybe even if he doesn't want to help me because he's nice, maybe he'll help me because I bring some nice gold and silver and maybe some nice robes and clothes and some nice boots. So the king, he gave me lots and lots of money. He gave me 10 talents of silver and a talent of gold. You don't know what a talent is, do you? No, you guys must use a different kind of money. No, I got to show you how much a talent is. Does anybody here know how much they weigh? Does anybody know how heavy they are? No? All right. Come over here, Liam, for a second. Just stand up right here. Let's see something. Just hold still. I'm going to try to lift you up, okay? Let's see. You weigh about... you weigh about 45 pounds. All right. So stay standing here. Stand right here. Now, Leanna, you come over here. Let's see how much you weigh. Let's see. Ready? Hold still. Oh, yeah, you probably weigh about 40 pounds. All right. So the two of you together would make about 85 pounds, okay? Now, a talent is 75 pounds. So it's just about the same as this. We're going to pretend it's about the same as this. So the king gave me 1 talent of gold. That means he gave me a pile of gold that weighed as much as both of these kids. All right, you can sit down. Can you imagine having a pile of gold that was that big and that heavy? Would you like to have that much gold? Yeah. Yeah, I would too. And they gave me 10 piles of silver that much. Yeah, we had a lot of stuff. We had to take a lot of donkeys and so on carrying these big, heavy bags of gold. Well, we went. Long story short, we finally got to the house of the prophet. Turned out his name is Elisha. Yeah, Elisha. We came up to his house and I knocked on the door. And I was ready to make my speech. I was going to say, listen here, Elisha. You need to heal me because then I'll pay you all this money. That's what I was going to say. So I knocked on the door. Knock, knock, knock. We waited. And certainly I knew that Elisha would come out and talk to me because, you know, I'm kind of special. You know, I'm an important, tough soldier from another country. You know, I'm strong and I've got a sword. You better listen to me. You know who came out of the house? It wasn't Elisha. It was some servant. He said his name was Gehazi. He came out of the house and all he said was,
The master says for you to go wash in the river 7 times and you will be clean. And he turned around and went back in the house. And I didn't even get to say my speech. I was like, hey, what? How dare they treat me like that? I'm a big, strong, special man. I deserve more respect. You don't send a servant to talk to me. Elijah should come and talk to me. How am I going to pay him the money and convince him to heal me? Now he doesn't even want my money. And what did he say to do? He said to go to wash. What did he tell me to do?
Wash in the river 7 times.
Which river?
The Jordan River.
Wait a second, not the Jordan River. I crossed that river on the way here. When me and my men were coming from Syria, we rode up to this river, and you could call it a river, but it looked like a puny little stream. It was all muddy and really narrow and so shallow, and just, ew. As you go through it, you can kind of see the muck of your horse's feet just going, ew, that's a muddy old river. We have nice rivers in Syria. Yeah, where I'm from, our rivers are deep. Our rivers are wide, deep and wide. We could make a song about that. Anyhow, our rivers are deep and wide, and they're blue, and they're clean. Not like that muddy, nasty little trickle of the Jordan. He wants me to bathe in there. I would never. I wouldn't bathe my horses in there. I was so angry. He wasn't going to listen to me to take my money. He sent a servant out to talk to me, and then he tells me to go wash in a river. I wanted him to do something special. I thought maybe he would come out, and Elisha would come out, and he'd be like, oh, we're going to heal your leprosy. Oh, we're going to heal your leprosy. I thought maybe he would do that. Or I thought maybe he would come out and say,
to cure your leprosy, you must do 7 mighty challenges. You must climb the tallest mountain. You must fight a lion with a toothpick. You must dig a hole using only your teeth.
But he didn't do any of those things. He just said, go wash in the river. Nothing special about washing in the river. I'm a special man. I deserve a special treatment. So I got upset. I said, fine. I even yelled it at the door. Fine. And then I got in my chariot, and I whipped the horses, whoosh, and we left. We were riding away. And my men, my soldiers that had come along, and the people taking all the mules with all the gold and silver, that's how special I am, we all went riding off. And when we got to the Jordan River, I was looking at it as we started to cross through. So muddy and nasty. Even the horses didn't want to drink the water. They were just looking down at it going, and we went across the river, and then my men were coming across the river, and one of the men, he raised his hand. He stopped in the middle of the river on his horse. He said, Sir! Captain Naaman, sir! I got a question for you. Yeah, what do you want? I was just wondering, we're here, the river's right here, and it really wouldn't be that hard to just wash 7 times in the river. If it works, great, why not try it? I looked at him, and I looked at the river. I looked at him, I looked at the river, and I started to get upset. And then I looked at my hands. You know what was on my hands, right? White spots. I looked at my chest, white spots. My legs, white spots. Leprosy. That's why I came here in the first place. If leprosy doesn't get fixed, I'm just going to be a useless old man just sitting at home, never be able to do anything. I might as well try it. Fine. I'll try getting in the river. So, I got off my chariot, tied my horses up to a tree nearby, took off my main robe, and I took off my sword, and I took off my knife, and I went, and I stepped into the river. It was nasty. Ew! Ugh. Oh, that's the mud. Oh, yeah. And the water was getting deeper and deeper. I finally got out to where it was deep enough. I kind of had to squat down in some nasty river. Oh! Have you ever been getting into a pool of water? Have you ever been getting into a pool of water and your swimsuit's not wet yet and you don't want your swimsuit to get wet? That's how I felt. I don't want to get wet. Finally, I was kneeling in the water. The water only came up to about here. And my men looked at me. I said, I'm in. Now what do I do? And they said, well, the prophet, he said, wash 7 times in the river.
I said it wasn't the prophet, it was Gehazi, that servant of his, and he said, wash in the river. Fine. How many times? How many times?
7.
7 times. 7 times? How come it has to be 7 times? How come it can't just be 1 time? Oh, fine, I'll do this. And I took the water. Oh, look at that water. Oh, it's brown. Ew. Oh. Yeah, and I poured it over my head. And I looked at my hands. What did I see? What did I see?
White spots.
I saw white spots. And now some brown spots from the muddy water. Yuck. How many times was that? I said. How many times has I done it so far?
1.
Oh, it's about 6 more times. So I did it again. Took the water, poured it over my head. Oh, there was a leech in that one. Ew, it's like a water worm. Oh. I looked at my hands. What did I see? White spots. And brown spots from the mud. So I did it again. 4, 5. I want to get out, I said. And what do you think my servant said? They said, you're almost done. You've done 5 times. Just do 2 more times. It's not working. I don't care. I don't want to do this. Oh, 6 times. What's on my hands? What's on my hands? White spots and brown spots, as usual. But then I started to realize maybe the reason I had to do it 7 times was because Elisha and Elisha's God wanted me to have a chance to show that I was going to believe it. Yeah, because I could have just done it once. And then be like, okay, I'm done. I'm out of here. But I didn't. I had to do it twice, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got this far. Yeah, only somebody who is stubborn or who is going to just believe it and do it would stay in here for 7 times. Maybe that's why he had me do it 7 times. All right, I'll do it the 7th time. And this time, inside my heart, just a little bit, I was just hoping, really hoping it would work. And I was even daring to think maybe this really could work because Elisha and his God said it would. So I did it. 7th time. I took the biggest 2 handfuls of water. I even got a little bit of mud by accident on my fingernails and put it over me. And I didn't want to open my eyes. Grab one eye. And I didn't want to look at my hands. So I looked at one finger. Hey, there's no white spots on my finger. Hey, there's no white spots on this hand at all. There's no white spots on my hands. And no brown spots on my hands. Wait a second, there were brown spots every other time. And now there's no brown spots. In fact, wait a second. I used to have a big scar right here on my arm. This was from I was fighting a battle against Philistines, and a sword cut me right here. The scar's gone too. Everything is, it's like my skin is brand new, like a little child, like a little baby. Do you think it's all gone?
Yeah.
Do you think it's gone? I got up out of the water. I went splashing back shore. I got out. And look, I was all clean. Not just clean from leprosy, but clean from the mud. There wasn't even any mud stuck to me. It was like I had just taken a bath in the most beautiful bathtub. And on top of that, my skin looked perfectly fine. I was all better. What do you think I did next? What do you think I did next?
Jump in your chariot.
I jumped in my chariot, and what do you think I did?
Ran.
Where?
The prophet's house.
Back to the prophet's house. That's right. I was so glad. I was so grateful. I turned those horses around, and we took off. Woo! Back through the river, splash water everywhere, and we got to the prophet's house. I jumped out. Knock, knock, knock. And this time the prophet was who came out. He was an older kind of man. He had a beard and a bald head. And he said,
Yes, Naaman?
and I was so excited. I just didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm so thankful. I don't know what. Because the river and the And then I remembered. You remember what I brought with me on my donkeys?
Go.
Gold and silver. Yeah. I thought, okay. All right. Maybe that's how this works. Maybe Elisha's God, he doesn't need you to pay money ahead of time to get healed, but then he probably still wants you to pay money afterwards, because otherwise maybe he'll give you the leprosy back. So I just want to make sure I'm going to get my leprosy back. So I said, okay, now listen, Elijah, look at right here, my donkeys. We've got 10 talents of silver, a talent of gold. This is more money than you will ever see in your life, Elisha. How much can I give you? Where can I put it? Do you have space in your house?
Nope.
And what do you think Elisha said? Did he say, yeah, come on in. We'll put some silver on the kitchen table. You can put the gold under my bed. Is that what he said?
No.
No. He said,
I don't want any of those things. You don't need to do that at all. Please don't give me any of it.
And that didn't make sense to me. Because you see, every time that I ever growing up had needed something and I would go and ask the gods of Syria about it and worship at the temple and pray to the idols, the priest would tell me, all right, you have to bring something really special so the gods will listen to you. But this God, it was like, he didn't need any of that. He didn't want any of that. It's like Elisha was telling me, no. You can't pay for God to take care of you. You can't pay for God to love you. You can't pay for God to pay attention to you. That gave me a lot to think about. I told him, thank you. I said, I'm only going to worship the God of Israel from now on. Elisha, I got to go back to Syria. I got a job and family back there. There's a little girl that, Elisha, there's a little girl that told me about you. Maybe I'll see if maybe we can send her back to be with her parents. I think that would be nice. It's like I want to be nice to people now. I'm going to think about this, Elisha. I'll see ya. And I rode off home, thinking about it the whole way. And I realized the God of Israel isn't just the God of Israel. He doesn't just love the people who live in his country. He loves everybody, even me. A kind of mean, strong, cruel man who had fought against Israel and stolen children away. He still loved me. And he loved me so much that I couldn't even pay him enough to make him love me. You guys know how much a talent of gold is worth, by the way? Remember I showed you that it would be a pile as big as these two kids and heavy as heavy as them? That much gold would be worth $1.5 million. That's how much money I was offering to pay. $1.5 million in gold. Plus like $160,000 in silver. And yet God didn't want that because God doesn't need my stuff. He doesn't make me pay for it to love me. I'll have to think about that more. Well, thank you for listening to my story, you guys. I hope you'll remember it too. He just loves all of you. All he wants is for you to just listen to what he says and then just believe it. Just believe it, just like I could believe him in that muddy river. Okay, that was our story. So we're going to have a prayer time, and then we're going to go to our lessons. Does anybody have any questions about what just happened? You have a question, Joseph?
Yeah.
What's your question?
God of Israel.
God of Israel? Yeah, that's Jesus. That's God, the same God that we worship. He loves everybody, doesn't he? Does he love you? Yes, he does. And Sydney too, and everybody else. What's your question?
Did he really put the child back?
We don't know. The Bible doesn't say. But it kind of makes sense that he would think about doing that at least. Because I bet you once he realized how much God loved him and had taken care of him, boy, when God shows himself like that to you, you kind of want to start doing nice things for others too. And I bet you he might think, oh boy, what I did to her wasn't very nice. I think I better change that. So I don't know. We'll find out in heaven, I bet. All right, you guys. Let's say a quick prayer and then we're going to go to our lessons. Okay? Let's close our eyes. Thank you, Heavenly Father, that you care for us, that you care for not only us, but for everyone in the world, whether or not they're Christian, whether or not they're from Israel, whether or not they're an Adventist, whether or not they live in the United States of America. You care for everyone. And that you don't need us to pay you money or try to convince you to take care of us, but that you just want to love us and you just need us to listen and believe so that you can do all sorts of things for us. We love you very much. Be with us now as we go to our lesson time. Amen.